Hello there, this is Coach Pat from Barry's Boxing Podcast, and we're glad to be back speaking to you. And we got a special person, special guest with us today. We got Patrick Maialta. Patrick's been around. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Patrick.
Oh, well, I'm 28. I just not recently, I grew up in Samoa.
All right.
And I moved, my family migrated over to New Zealand when I was 8. And then 2023, when I was 23, I moved here to America. So about 4 years now, going to 5. Yeah.
Very good.
So, yeah.
But when were you boxing? How old were you?
I started off playing rugby like everybody back home. What's it called? It's our national sport. So I started playing rugby. I picked up an injury at 15, and then my dad thought it was a good idea to train, to do boxing training to stay in shape. But
very good.
I actually fell in love with it, and so I stuck with it. That was it when I was 15, 2020. I keep saying 2020. It's 2011.
2011.
Yeah, I started.
All right. And how'd you get started? Was there a league back there, or?
No, I mean at the time there were already some fighters that were existing, but not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was David Tua, Jimmy Thunder.
Know them both.
Yeah,
Both
yeah,
good
they were both
fighters,
from my town too. And then obviously in the kickboxing circuit there was Mark Hunt and Ray Sefo. Those were the big names coming out of New Zealand at the time. So, but I started watching, and I went into the gym. I started at a small gym, and then I moved on to train under the same trainer that Joseph Parker was training at as an amateur. So that's kind of like how I started, and then obviously just the competitiveness gets the best of you, and you just want to be the best. So you just continue grinding, and yeah, one thing led to another. I just came to America to follow my pro career.
Your passion.
Yeah.
Make it
Exactly.
a career.
Yeah.
And get to the top.
Exactly.
Very good. Well, I've had the pleasure of working with you and watching your work, and I think you can go all the way.
Yeah, I mean,
that's pretty high praise. I don't say that to everybody, but I tell you, I think you can go all the way.
I appreciate that. I've been fortunate to be here at Barry's. Actually, it's a great place, great little place. It's I know that it's full of amateur kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But for me as a pro, it feels good for me.
Yeah, it's a good fit.
It's a good fit, like watching these young kids all the time trying to better themselves. It puts me in that environment, where like I feel like watching them trying to be better, it allows me to stay hungry, to keep going, you know what I mean? Because we're in Vegas. You can get work everywhere here.
Yeah.
So I don't have to feel like because there are no pros here, I still can't get mine,
Right.
I feel like this is my home. I can come in, get my work, and then now and again I can step out to another gym and get some good rounds.
Tell us about your boxing. How many pro fights you got now?
Right now, as a professional, it's been a slow start actually. This is my 4th year as a pro, but it's been a slow start. I'm 6-1, 7 fights in total, and with 3 knockouts. That's where I am right now as a pro.
Where were those fights at?
I had my debut back home, back in New Zealand, and then I had 2 here in the States, 1 in Vegas, 2 in Vegas, and then I had another. Then I had my 4th in Canada. Yeah, and then I had 2 in Utah. The one I took my loss here in Vegas actually on ESPN.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you know how boxing goes. It is what it is.
No excuses. But I heard you were sick just before that.
Yeah, I had COVID. That was in 2020. I had COVID. When I came to America, I was signed to a guy. I won't mention, but You know, I thought he had my best interest, right? I had been here for I had been here for about 5 months at that time, and I caught COVID a couple weeks before the fight. You know, so like it was weird for me because the whole time I felt like my body, like training through that.
Right.
I felt like my body was on fire. I keep saying that too, you know, but the guy insisted that I take this fight. You know, that I take this fight. So, I took it because I thought he was my family and everything, right. You know, and I didn't perform at all. I just didn't feel right mentally. I wasn't right, and you know, I took a L. It was probably mentally hard for me more than I've actually admitted to myself. You know, like having to go through that. You know, and then shoot, I haven't seen my family for about 4 years now. You know,
is that right?
Yeah. So it's been, but that's the reality of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like there are so many fighters out here in Vegas that I feel that are living a Rocky Balboa lifestyle that nobody talks about.
Right.
You know, and I think that is interesting because, well, people just see the bright lights and the fight and making success, but they don't really see the multiple sacrifices that have been made.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, definitely. I mean, fighting is the in and of its the whole culture. It's a sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I just think that's just. I think that's the beauty of it, but it's also the downfall of it because, literally, even to this day, you know, even in this time, things are still working as they were back in the old days. You know what I mean? In the sense that, you know, guys come out here in Vegas, it's the hub of fighting. Right. But if they're not mentally switched on to what's really going on, they can get lost in the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I'm grateful that in a young time of my life that I've had some rocky up and downs that's allowed me to see what that looks like and what this looks like. Okay, and this is where I should stay. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you haven't had the good promoter behind you.
Not yet. Not yet. I know that I've been blessed and gifted with amazing skill. You know what I mean?
So you're doing it all on your own right now.
Right now, yeah. I have a manager. You know, a couple managers that helps me a little here and there. But in terms of actually getting me fights, I'm just in the gym grinding, waiting for my moment. Yep. You know what I mean? I've sparred some
Rocky Balboa.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because I've sparred some of the top guys. Current top guys in the world right now, and I've, you know, and I felt like I've held my own or I've gotten the best of them. Right. You know what I mean? And like they keep coming back and saying, "Hey man, we want to pay you a little bit more to spar you." Mentally, in my mind, I'm in the point where I kind of want to be like, "Hey, pay me so we can fight." Right. You know what I mean? That's a good attitude. You know what I mean? Because I think of it like this, man. Like I've been blessed to have a family here in America and everything, but for me, it's like, it's cool. All right, I make a little chub change here, but dang, I have kids now. You know what I mean?
You want to get the show on the road.
Exactly. Exactly. I
can feel it.
I'm a family man at the end of the day, and I want to provide as soon as possible. Right. You know, as the earliest convenience. You know, and again, I believe you know, I've been blessed with an ability that I can showcase, and you know, I don't have to be like how the world, the heavyweight division is right now, where everybody wants to say, "Hey, come look at me." Yeah. I just want to tell you that I'm good at what I do, and when it comes fight night, I'm going to punch somebody in the mouth, and I'm good at that.
So how many amateur fights did you have?
Around the 70 mark. You know, I lost count, like...
Around 70?
Yeah, around 70.
That's quite a bit.
Like, yeah, I mean, nowadays they encourage guys not to have an amateur career. Yeah. You know, because everything in this world is so fast-paced. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no time for people to slow down and enjoy the finer things. You know what I mean? Like enjoy the grind. For me, what's called, and now as a pro, I'm 12 years deep. I look back at my amateur career as the highs and the lows, and it allows me to understand the pathway as a pro. You know what I mean? Even when I'm in the ring, I can, because I have an amateur background, I'm able to slow things down and try and understand them while I'm still on the job. You know what I mean? Okay. And not you see top guys now who have made it there on just pure strength. They struggle, and all of a sudden they fall off the wagon. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's because of the lack of amateur career, because this game isn't just about the winning and the losing. You know what I mean? It's the mentality to be able to stay strong even through your toughest
the mental, the psychological.
Not just your opposition, but the toughest times in life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not. Combat is one of the sports, and I'm talking combat as a whole. You know what I mean? It's a sport that you don't turn off.
Right.
You know, you don't just switch off and go home with your kids. It's part of your life. The way you eat, the way you walk, the way you talk. It's everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not a switch you can just turn off and sit down. It's a 24/7 thing. You know?
So what would you see right now, Patrick Maiolta? You've had that one fight where you took it even though you were sick, but so I'm going to say no one's really tested you yet. Who do you want to get in the ring with?
Man, like I said, you know, I've done a lot of rounds with top guys. I mean, I think that's one of the privileges of being here in Vegas. No specific name, anybody up there that's ready to toss a bone.
You're at 6 rounders now, right?
6 rounder, 8 rounder.
And you like to stay in that area, another couple of 4, 5, 6, and 8s?
Yeah, I think I don't want to do 4s no more. I'm starting to understand that the pro game is more about strategy.
Right.
You know, it's a chess game. You know what I mean? So I like anything from 6 to 10.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, because for the way I box and the way I am, it suits me better. You know, as an amateur fighter, it was a go. You know what I mean? And I'm a big guy. Like, even at a young age, like when I was 16, I was walking around at 16 at between 116 to 120 kgs. So I don't know what that is in pounds.
Yeah.
You know, but like I've always been a big guy.
Fast math. Anybody know that? Math.
It's a lot.
If you're at home, look it up. Yeah, it's probably about 220 pounds.
Yeah, or maybe more than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, as a pro, like I don't have to worry about you know. When I was younger, bro, I used to think my weight was a problem. As a pro, I'm a solid 300 pounds, and I move it better.
You move better.
I move better. You know what I mean? I'm able, as a pro, I'm able to set the pace, you know, the way obviously with skill, but I can set the pace and control it,
right,
depending on who I'm fighting and the way I want it to go. You know what I mean? I can pick my moments as long as that everything makes sense between myself and my trainer.
Right.
Or you. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think that's what I like about the pros right now. You know what I mean? It's the strategy game. It's about endurance. And I've learned that kind of thing, just, you know, being able to talk to some great fighters that are here in Vegas, you know, and being in great
Very
camps.
good.
Understanding that. Yeah.
Learn from not only from your own experience, but from others' experience.
Exactly.
I happen to know one of the managers, you know, Jason Hearns.
Yeah.
And I know he's a
past student of yours, wasn't he?
He's a past student of mine, yeah, and he's hardcore. I mean, when he gets his mind set on something, he goes for it. I saw him go, you know, right through from the amateur boxing to a college to law school, and so that's pretty impressive. He accomplished something really well, and now I think with him behind you, he takes it serious, and you're gonna have somebody in your corner that's not gonna just take the first thing that jumps at him.
Yeah, and that's what I like, and you know, it's like, again, I was in Utah for a while, you know what I mean, and I jumped up in weight, you know what I mean. You saw it when I came back. We had to put in a lot of work, you know, but you know, now I'm at the pace. You know, I've put in about 4 months of just pure work. Mm-hmm. Now we're at the phase where we're just kind of like, you know, everything out from this point is extra work.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's funny you say that, because Jason is that type of person to want to make sure that the opportunity is right and the moment is perfect.
Right.
And I completely understand that, right? So in my mind, the more I spend in the gym, the better I become. It's like, it gets, as a fighter, that gets hard too, because you're sitting there itching.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just itching for a fight. you know. But one thing that my wife told me was, you know, the longer something's in the furnace, the more pure it is, because you
You told me that the other day. Very good.
you burn off the impurities. And I think, okay, well, if that's the case, and if the gym is the fire, man, the time I do come out, man, I'm just gonna punch holes for people.
So you're ready. You're ready for the phone call.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's just how it goes, and whoever calls, just make it make sense.
Yeah, you're one of the harder workers that I've seen, and your dedication and your tenacity while you're training, really right now I say is very impressive, and I think you can go right to the top.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it, man. Like, I've sacrificed a lot to come to America. I've sacrificed a lot to be in the place that I am today.
Right.
So it's kind of like, my dad used to always say something in someone about chasing your kill. You know what I mean? And I feel like I can't stop now and let that beast run away. Like, I gotta go all the way in and at least finish the job. You know what I mean? Not say that at least. Like, I just feel like I'm made for this.
I got you.
You know?
You've gone too far to turn back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if I turn back, it just like, it doesn't make sense to. That's what
I think there's a lot of opportunity out there for you, and it's not discrediting to any of the fellas that are out there now. It's just crediting with the talent and the ability that I've seen you. So I think you'll do real well. And here at the Barry's Boxing Podcast, we're going to be following Patrick and his upcoming bouts, and I think we're going to have a lot to report on, and have Patrick back here and tell you about how successful he is.
Cool.